Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Making It Here. I'm your host, George Murphy, and this, of course, is a baseball bat. We're starting out this evening at the Native Lumber Company in Belchertown, Massachusetts. But this bat, or bats like it, I guess I should say, are going to be fashioned down in Enfield, Connecticut. We'll get to more of that in a little bit. This comes from the Dream Bat Company. This is one of many made by a gentleman named Tim Mayo. We're going to meet him in a minute and find out the birth of a bat and maybe what kind of wood it's made out of. And they're not all made out of the wood that you just might think they are. And this must be Tim Mayo.
How you doing?
Tim, how are you? George
Good.
Murphy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What are you doing here?
Sorting through some wood, looking for some good billets for bats.
Okay, now this is, first of all, you called it billets, right? Mm-hmm. They're blanks, basically
billets,
what they are.
yep.
Okay, and someday, soon, this thing here is probably going to look like this.
Yep.
Which is, so this has to be ash, right? Because all bats are made out of ash.
Well, this is ash. That's actually maple.
This is maple?
Yes.
I thought maple would break. Isn't it a softer wood than ash?
No, it's a hardwood. There's also elm, hickory, birch, and then ash and maple are primarily the most popular.
So the most popular ones
bats,
that the major leagues would use. And so, well, what are you doing here in this old bin here? They all look pretty much the same to me.
Sorting through the blanks to find a good piece that will make a bat.
Right.
What I'm mostly looking for is straight grains, bats with the straightest grains, and bats without any visible defects like knots or ingrown bark, things like that.
That would be a weak spot, I would
right,
imagine.
correct. This, I mean, here's an example of something I wouldn't pick.
And severe termite, big termite damage, or whatever that may be. Now, what would this wind up to be? Would this wind up to be firewood?
No, it would make it into something, trophy bat or a bat not for game use.
Oh, okay.
Things like
All
that.
right, something like that.
Yeah.
So, on average, do you make a lot of these every day, or just one or two? Or
I'm hand making them, so.
You make these by hand?
All by hand.
In Enfield, Connecticut.
In Enfield, Connecticut, yep.
And part of the deal is we're going to get to go down to Enfield, Connecticut with you.
That's right.
And see how you make these wonderful bats, the Dream Bat Company, right?
Yep.
Been in business since?
3 years ago.
Why? Why'd you start making bats?
I was making them actually for my brother when he was, Jeff Mayo, when he was playing in the New England Collegiate Baseball League up in Holyoke. And it's a wood bat league, so started making
one thing led to the other.
And now I'm making them for a living.
Here you are, a businessman. You know, if we could tie you up with a guy that makes baseballs, what an organization that would be. We're going to go to Enfield, Connecticut. We'll bring you along and show you how Tim makes some of his. Now, the last time you saw us, we were in Belchertown getting some wood, some blanks for bats. This is Tim Mayo, and he is a bat maker extraordinaire, right?
That's right.
And today we're going to make some bats.
Yep.
What kind of bats are we going to make?
We're going to make some maple model 243s, and they're actually heading up to the University of Massachusetts.
Maple model 243. Certainly my favorite. All right, so what do we do now? Just get the stuff
I'm going to grab a couple of these, and if you can get the rest, that'd be good. But I'll unlock the door and I'll see you inside.
I can get the rest. Yeah, thanks, Tim. All right, Tim, and I believe this will make the last two of the 30 or so that I graciously brought in.
Thank
no
you.
Extra charge.
Thank
Here you go. What are you doing with these things now?
I am weighing the weight of the blanks. The weight will tell me what type of model I can make these blanks into.
What type of model?
Yeah, there's several different bat models.
Right.
The larger barrel bats require lighter starting weighted billets. Otherwise, they'd end up too heavy if I used a heavy one. So I'm looking for one around 5 pounds, 10 ounces right now.
And this is 5'7", and this is, what are we dealing with again, maple?
This is maple.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what is the heaviest wood?
Hickory is very heavy.
Right.
Very heavy. So we can't make many, actually any big barrel bats out of hickory.
And what wood would break the most, if there is such a thing?
It's all user or operator. If you swing at good pitches, and you're not going to break many bats.
So if you hit it too low, it'll crack. If you hit it too
handle
high,
off
it'll
the
crack,
end.
and so on.
Yes.
So you get these all weighed out, and you
Get them weighed out. We have a 510 here.
Okay, that looks like a good one.
Now I'm just going to find the center.
Mm-hmm.
And just bang out the hole so we can get it on the lathe.
I see. There's a little starter pin you put in there for the end of the lathe.
Just give it a little indent.
How long is it going to take you to do this now?
To cut a bat?
Yeah.
Around 25 minutes.
We got all the time in the world. So we take this over to the gigantic lathing department, machining area over here.
Yep.
Let's go take a look at this place. Oh, here's the place, huh? All right, now what exactly is it doing here?
Well, right now Pete is doing a rough cut of a bat on the bat duplicator here.
Yeah, and this is kind of loud.
Yeah, it is. Pete, we're gonna shut this off real quick.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Pete. Pete's in the middle making his big basic bat. So this is how they're all born, right?
Yes, this is a general floor lathe with a bolt-on duplicator on it. Attached to the duplicator, we have a template for a 243 bat, metal template.
Okay, so for people that don't know too much about lathes and so on, this is the shape of the bat.
Yep.
It transfers it with the blade over to there, and you happen to have one here that's 5'6". That's the length of it, or
5 pounds, 6 ounces. So
that's
this would
the
make
weight.
it good.
I'm doing
Yep.
good.
Yep.
This is the bat room, by the way, we're in here, and obviously these things get cut off.
Yep, sanded. The next step is sanding, and then we chop the ends off.
Okay, now another thing I noticed, you got a multitude of bats around here, and I saw this, and for the first time in my life, I look at the end, and there's like, you could put a golf ball in there. What's the deal on this?
That's called cupping, and what that does is takes off to up to about 3/4 of an ounce off the weight, the end weight of the bat.
Well, why wouldn't you just take that 3/4 off the shaft of the bat?
That would change the profile of the bat, so that would make the barrel smaller. Some players like bigger barrels than others.
I see. And what are the dimensions? I mean, you got like the number 2 on this thing. Means it's 32 inches.
Right, correct.
I figured that one out. But I mean, how small do they go, or how big do they go? Or?
They vary. We have 8 models here. We carry 8 different models, and each one has a different barrel size, different handle size, different knob shape.
Okay, so getting back to this guy here, you cut the top off, you cut the bottom off, and I would think you'd have to have some place to sand this, right?
Yep, that would be the next step.
You make every single bat on this?
All by hand. All by hand.
How did you do it before you had this, or did you always have this?
Before the duplicator, we used General Hand tools. I don't have any around.
That's okay.
General Hand tools, and it took us about 4 hours per bat. Right now, it's about 20 minutes with the duplicator. And I have another machine we're working on. It'll be up and running in about a week, which will take 1.5 minutes per bat.
Fantastic. Learning all kinds of stuff. So take this, sir. We'll let Pete get back to work. I'll turn this on, and we'll go sand.
Sounds good. Here we are in the sanding room.
Yeah, but weren't we just standing over here with Pete?
Never mind that. Now we're going to sand.
Oh, okay, sanding room here. Yeah, and what are you? You're sanding the bat, obviously, right?
Correct. What we're doing is we're going to sand this bat down to 1/100th of an inch.
That's a skinny bat, boy. You couldn't hit anything with
1/100th
that.
of an inch of the required diameter.
Oh, I see. What the specs are, in other words.
Correct.
Right.
Each bat has a different spec, so it's all done by hand.
Every bat has a different spec. How long have you been doing this? Since high school?
I've been doing this for 3 years. Before this, I taught biology.
You taught biology and you gave up a career as a teacher to make bats.
That's right.
That's a lateral move, if I ever heard one. Are you happy that you're doing this?
Very happy. Very happy.
How many of these things would you make in a good week?
Good week, about 15 a day. And we go 7 days a week here. And there's someone here about 23 hours a day in here.
And you also have a painting room here, I'm sure?
That's actually an off-site location.
Oh,
yeah, we don't do it here.
Such a big place. But you do painting.
At our west location.
Right. And I noticed before, I don't have one handy now, but you have the name of the company or a logo of the company on the bats.
Yes.
And also the kind of bat it is, right?
Correct.
Where do you do that?
We do that on the engraver.
That would be over here in the engraving department.
In the engraving room.
This is such a massive operation, I have trouble keeping up. Oh, I've seen something similar to this before. What happens here now?
What's going to go on is I've programmed what I want engraved already into the engraver. Press go, I need to flip that on.
All right, let me get out of your way.
And what it's going to do is, it's like a printer, but with a laser.
Okay.
So it burns in with light what you want on there.
Miracle technology. You press a button and
self-focus, and
instantly does this take
about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes.
Our thanks to Sandy and all that green stuff. And as we left, we were showing you a logo that was being burned down here at the Dream Bat Company.